Joe Rogan lately disclosed that Ellen was surely not the person she represented herself to be. We have observed numerous intensely unsettling assertions concerning her for a prolonged duration, but presently, it seems a significant leading personality inside the industry has substantiated those accounts.
Found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in half an hour on a television show is not really who she was.
Ellen's entire representation was established on the basis of being pleasant. Nonetheless, Joe has lately revealed that the actuality was entirely dissimilar. She kept companionships with Bill Clinton and George Bush, two persons allegedly connected to Jeffrey Epstein, and furthermore showcased mass killers on her broadcast.
She goes out there to the Charleston. She's got war criminals. Her and Bush are jumping around. I mean,
that's right. She was buddies with Bush. That
yeah,
was like
she's
one of the
a
first
CIA agent. Stephen Paddock. And do not ask me for sources. But Stephen Paddock.
Who's that?
He was the guy that shot up the Vegas concert. That was a very tragic thing. Listen to this. The only guy that saw Stephen Paddock alive, his name is Jesus Campos. He was a guard at Mandalay Bay. He got interviewed nowhere else. You know where he got interviewed in the beginning? Ellen.
Really?
Weird. And then they went on, if you could find that clip, they went on with a weird like diagram of how it happened, and Ellen's like showing the people how it happened. Not like an emotional, like how are you feeling, how are you holding up? It was a weird diagram of like, and then he went to the left and to the right. It was very strange to, look, what the hell's going on? This is a daytime show.
Which is the Paddock guy? There's two guys there?
The chubbier guy is the Jesus guy. And now Ellen is doing a thing of how the shooting happened.
Look how she's got like an antenna from someone's Buick that she's popped off and she's using it as a pointer.
But why the hell is this happening on like a daytime show where this is weird?
Joe Rogan and Tom Dillon asserted that Ellen was basically a CIA agent and that there were certain disgusting incidents happening inside her home beyond the control of federal authorities. Joe additionally mentioned Ellen was likely providing people to her staff.
Let's keep it running. Look at it. She's dressed like Colonel Sanders. Not Colonel Sanders. She's dressed like Sergeant Pepper.
This guy looks like a member of her staff.
What kind of outfit is she wearing?
I don't know. She wears those weird, like, militant, lesbian
that should tell you
uniform.
Something.
Yeah.
It does an odd look with all those buttons. Like, why do you have so many wrist buttons?
It was given to her in Langley.
The only reason why you have that many wrist buttons if you're looking at clothesline somebody.
Yeah, look at her. Look at her. Everyone says she looks so friendly. She looks friendly.
Yeah, she does look very military.
Yeah, she's a militant woman.
With a very expensive watch.
She dealt with a lot of discrimination when she came out. It was very sad, but then she joined the CIA.
Her house got broken into while she was at home.
Really?
Yeah. She got a dope place in Montecito.
And they broke in while she was there.
Yeah.
And those people are still being tortured to this day.
Probably.
They're still in an underground jail.
Yeah, she's feeding them to her staff.
That seems exceptionally similar to the deeds Jeffrey Epstein is accused of performing, especially when examining his coded digital communications. On the surface, these are simply messages, short, informal, and almost tedious. Yet, particular words begin to recur in ways that do not quite match. One particular case is startling. A note portraying a person in glowing emotional terms, succeeded by a reply that indifferently labels it as pizza.
You're going through your files. Another thing I want to get your thoughts on is the reference to pizza. We talked about it earlier. I'll give you another example here. Epstein sends a message to someone. She looks pregnant, reacting to a photo. And the client replies back to Epstein, "You mean radiating a soft glow with the look of bliss and excitement? Yeah, that's the pizza." I cannot be clearer than this, that this is a code word. It makes no sense in that context whatsoever. And this on top of the example I gave you earlier, when his virologist gave him the medicine for having an erectile dysfunction, I assume, or it could be even Viagra, and then told him to wash his hands, go have pizza and grape soda. That's been mentioned time and time again. Having adult men, successful men that are very health oriented, constantly talk about pizza and pizza with grape soda, which I've never heard before.
Yeah, I've never heard of pizza and grape soda before this. I don't know if that specific combination was part of the whole Pizzagate thing, but it's definitely mentioned a lot because I saw that phrase, so I looked it up and was like, is this actually like in there multiple times? And it most definitely is.
And it turns even more unsettling. Another phrase begins to appear in manifold messages. Jerky. At first, it appears harmless, simply sustenance again. Yet, the background quickly causes it to feel odd. Some accounts talk about transporting it carefully, keeping it in frozen storage, even employing insulated pouches. Wait, jerky doesn't need refrigeration. It is literally designed to last without it. So why treat it like something that spoils?
An email here from Jeffrey Epstein. Someone else says, Francis has time to come tomorrow to show me how to make it. Jerky, anyone? He will also bring you a taste of his jerky recipe from the restaurant, and sends a warm hello. He's working at a restaurant called Cook's. Wait for it, beef jerky and steak. Yes, time at 3 p.m. There's other emails of him talking about beef jerky. Another one here, Jeffrey Epstein sending it to Steve Hansen, saying, hope you're feeling better. Did we analyze the beef? Did we analyze the jerky? Now there's talks about jerky. It could be for scientific research. It could be something else that's even sicker. But there's more emails here talking about beef jerky. Have you had time to go through those? There's one here. Thank you so much. Super cool. IT guy setting up Surface right now. We are ridiculously excited, and beef jerky delicious. Thank you, Thanksgiving. So yeah,
it is very. Now I've got all those emails saved. I'd actually had somebody send me all of those to say, hey, would you check this out? So I have them. I have not read through all of them, but there's no shortage of terms that are phrased in a peculiar way. Muffin is another one. I've seen that a couple of times. I talked about when he says whoops. That seems to be in very sometimes he says that in very odd terms that seem like they're referring to somebody dying or getting. So there definitely seem to be code words. So the pizza and grape soda thing, here's one example of that. So yeah, this is better than a Chinese cookie. See attached. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again. No one else can understand. Go no. Or go. I don't know what I was supposed to say, but there actually is a picture later on from one of his friends of actual pizza and grape soda. But what this does is that if you went to law enforcement and said, I know there's something to this, then they went through and started going through, they'd say, well, he took a picture of pizza and grape soda. It would never go anywhere just based on things like that.
Ellen is also whispered to have been close to none other than Prince Andrew, with her even moving from the United States to the United Kingdom when Trump won the American elections. Trump, obviously, has promised to release the Epstein files, and Ellen has since not been seen in the country she claims to love so much. Prince Andrew's connection to Epstein became one of the most talked about parts of the entire case. Old reports, interviews, and public appearances raised serious questions, especially when he continued to associate with Epstein even after earlier legal issues were already known.
Talk about royal news. The US Department of Justice has released an image which appears to show former Prince Andrew and former UK trade envoy Peter Mandelson and Jeffrey Epstein. Now, this is the first known picture to allegedly contain these three individuals. Now, no time or location is given for the photo, yet ITV News in the UK believes that it was taken at Martha's Vineyard in an island in Massachusetts between 1999 and 2000. Of course, there's no suggestion appearing in this photo as an indication of wrongdoing. But Angela, what do you make of this photo?
Like the Andrew in the back of the car photo, this is going to be a picture that we see again and again over the years, because of course Mandelson and Andrew are only two figures in this who have been arrested, and they haven't been charged yet, but there's inquiries going into whether they are guilty of professional misconduct in office. Now, I have an issue with the fact that Americans haven't been pulled in front of their legal system yet. It's interesting that it's the Brits, and of course Ghislaine Maxwell is the only person in prison at the moment as a result of these Epstein inquiries. But that is a very dramatic picture because these are three key figures. It's also what they're wearing. You've got Prince Andrew and Peter Mandelson both in robes, white robes, which just is a seedy look. Look, it's a really problematic photo for them. But interestingly, this is how the DOJ is, it's not releasing this information slowly. What's happening is because journalists have to go through it manually. I've done a search through the DOJ files and you have to put in a search word, but that search word will not necessarily throw up what you're looking for. You may find a picture such as this in something completely unrelated to what you're searching for. Right. So it's going to, I mean, if you think about the number of files and that millions of files, we're going to be seeing shocking and questionable images from this from a very long time.
Why would Ellen seemingly associate with someone like this? And what makes it even stranger are allegations of a so-called black book. This wasn't just a rumor. It was a real contact list linked to Epstein's world. According to reports, names inside it range from billionaires to politicians to celebrities, which could have incriminated Ellen. Some names were even circled by someone who claimed they were more deeply involved. But here's the problem. The person who could explain why those names were marked is no longer alive. The story really begins back in 2005 when police in Palm Beach started investigating Epstein after a young girl came forward with serious accusations. Detectives spent months building a case. They gathered evidence, searched trash, and prepared for a raid on his mansion. But somehow Epstein found out ahead of time. By the time police entered his home, something was off.
The Palm Beach police did a thorough investigation. They really had a lot of evidence. They did trash pulls. It was an 11-month investigation. It was intense.
But Epstein caught wind there was going to be a search at his Palm Beach residence and devised a plan. Videos of the Palm Beach police search match what investigators also reported in their own documents. That monitors, keyboards, and printers were found, but no computers.
Jeffrey Epstein was tipped off on the search warrant. You see the police video when they go into the house, the computers had all been removed.
Newly revealed witness testimony from 2019 shows Epstein called one of his assistants, who he was also abusing, and directed her to remove not only the computers, but all the contact books in his house. Documents show in October 2005, Epstein told her to go to Palm Beach to meet someone to hand over the contact books and computers, and that Epstein ordered her to hand everything over to a private investigator. She was then directed by Epstein to collect all the contact books from his home in the Virgin Islands, and later to bring items back from the island to New York, where she was told to shred it in Maxwell's office. And the contact books from both residences then erased, or so they thought.
Without Epstein's knowledge, his former attendant, Alfredo Rodriguez, had secretly kept a copy of the Black Book. Rodriguez had worked at Epstein's Palm Beach home and had seen enough to understand something was wrong. He later told authorities he believed Epstein was participating in serious crimes involving young girls. At first, Rodriguez did not reveal to anyone that he held the book. That meant detectives were missing a crucial piece of evidence during the early stages of the case. However, years later, after Epstein had already been arrested, Rodriguez tried to sell the volume.
Who I deposed that summer was Alfredo Rodriguez.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Brad Edwards, representing Epstein survivors, interviewed Alfredo Rodriguez 2 times.
Alfredo Rodriguez was very nervous for the first part of the deposition. You could tell he had more information than he was giving. He talked about, it's the Black Book. He talked about being fired and obtained some documents that had some of the names of some of the young girls that were coming over to the house. But he gave the impression in his deposition that he didn't know where that was.
Rodriguez, desperate for money, saying no one would hire him, later asked Edwards for $50,000 in exchange for a copy of the book.
I couldn't convince him that he needed to just turn it over. So I called the U.S. Attorney's Office and said, look, I have to report that a witness is holding a document hostage with a price tag of $50,000.
A sting operation with the FBI was quickly launched to retrieve a copy of the book from Rodriguez. New video and phone calls show the exchange.
I was going to tell you where to meet me.
Okay, Gary, go ahead, give me the address.
There's a Hilton Hotel at the corner of Glades Road in Boca. I'm in room 118.
No, FBI, no, FBI didn't know nothing. The FBI just went to the files of Palm Beach Police Department, and they didn't subpoena me.
The man on the right, an FBI agent undercover as Brad Edwards' associate. On the left, Rodriguez in possession of a copy of the Black Book.
Rodriguez met with a person he believed was connected to the lawyer, but it was actually a hidden FBI agent. During the meeting, he showed the book, explained how he had organized it, and even pointed out names he thought were important. The footage captured him talking openly, certain he was about to get paid. But instead of leaving with money, he was arrested.
The amount of famous names that were in that. Mick Jagger, Courtney Love, Prince Andrew, Fergie, just people from all over the world. President Clinton, President Trump. He wasn't president at the time, but Donald Trump was in there. And just so many famous people were in there.
And though many names are listed, inclusion in the book is not evidence of any wrongdoing. In the video, Rodriguez calls out names of people he thought had information, including now President Donald Trump, who's denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
Of course, Donald Trump.
Also mentioned so-called massage providers from everywhere in the world.
The fact that the names and numbers of these girls, not only here but in other locations throughout the world, were contained in this book, he thought he needed to preserve that information.
All right, let me get you your money, buddy. Okay, here.
Shortly after that, when I guess they were supposed to give him the $50,000, he was arrested. It was uncovered to Alfredo that these were not Brad's fixers. This was the FBI.
Following the arrest, the FBI finally possessed the only known copy of Epstein's Black Book. Rodriguez was later charged with obstructing legal actions and given a term of 18 months in prison. Years later, in 2015, Rodriguez died at age 60. The question still remains, if the FBI had all this evidence, why did they not act on it? Why did they allow Epstein and his partners to get away with so much? It seems he may have had supporters in powerful spots, and that certainly seems to be the typical method of many alleged criminals like this. Diddy, for example, was recently convicted of some horrific crimes. And guess who he was connected with? None other than Ellen. Concerning Diddy, for years, there had been talk about recordings. Not just a few clips, but thousands of hours. The idea was simple, yet disturbing. Influential people filmed in private situations, possibly without even knowing it. If that were true, it would not just be evidence, it would be leverage. That even though his case included questionable behavior, it also distracted from something they believed was much larger, organized exploitation involving. For those individuals, focusing only on celebrity scandals involving adults ignored the deeper issue. Others saw it differently. They pointed out how power operates at that level. When you are dealing with famous people, billionaires, and world leaders, normal rules do not always seem to apply. These are people who cannot just lead ordinary lives. They move in controlled settings surrounded by security, influence, and carefully managed circles. And that is where Epstein fit. He created a place where the most powerful people on Earth could meet privately. Politicians, business leaders, scientists, entertainers, they all crossed paths in his world.
The thing is, he's not even being charged for any of the things you just brought up. He's not being charged for blackmail, which is kind of crazy. Because, what did they do? Why did they tell us that there was all these videos of all these high-profile people and then silence, and then it never comes up once during the trial? There's none of that stuff in the trial. In the trial, it was his ex-girlfriend Cassie. They were talking about, he's up for these 2 charges left, and it's like destitution, something. It's like nothing stuff. It's like stuff that he's going to go to jail for 5 years, if at all, and probably won't.
Right.
And he's already been in jail for, what is time served now? It's over a year, right?
Yeah. No, I think he's going to walk, dude.
I think he's going to walk, too.
I don't think he's going to spend any time.
And this is what Kurt Metzger called a long time ago. As soon as he saw that it was Comey's daughter, he was like, oh, he's going to walk. Trust me, he's going to walk. There's a bunch of high-profile people that are connected to this.
Yeah.
They're covering it all up. If he goes down, they go down. So he's not going to go down.
What makes all these connections come full circle, however, are the rumors that Ellen may have acted as a handler of sorts. She actively poked and probed many celebrities and politicians on television for weaknesses, often making them extremely uneasy. Take the instance with Katy Perry, for example. During a light-hearted game on the show, Ellen suddenly forgot that Katy had once been married, not just to anyone, but to Russell Brand. When Katy reminded her, you could see the shift. And then came moments that moved into personal territory. Martha Stewart, for example, was pushed into revealing private details during a game. Some moments were even more serious. Mariah Carey once appeared on the show while rumors were spreading about her being pregnant. She did not want to confirm anything, but Ellen kept pushing until she basically forced the reveal on air.
Right? I mean, there's so many people on the list that are probably innocent, but they're
right. They just went to the island for a party.
No, there's got to be a hard drive.
There's got to be
sitting in Tel Aviv right now.
Yeah, that's listen.
That's the other part of this too. They asked Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers what their.
He had like 100 cameras in that penthouse, in every single house.
Do you know his house is for sale in New York?
That's amazing.
Yeah. And
should make that a podcast studio.
No, my wife found it on Trulia or whatever it is.
Yeah.
One of the maps. And she's like, look at this beautiful, because we were in
the townhouse?
Yeah, like it's not a townhouse. It's a house. It's like, it's a big ass house. It's like multiple stories.
The one right across the street from Central Park?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That one. It's for sale right now.
How much?
I think it was like 60 or 70 million, something like that, which is what it's worth. But who wants to live in the Epstein house? First of all, if I bought that house, I'd want the Clinton painting. Can you get me that painting?
Yeah.
Clinton in the
It's
blue
gotta
dress.
come with all that
I have to have that painting. I want George Bush with the Jenga towers
Oh.
and the paper airplanes. I want all of it.
And then the lady just died too. The lady got hit by a car, one of the witnesses.
Yeah.
One of the Jeffrey Epstein witnesses. And then apparently she had like a husband who was abusing her. And you know, people like to to use this stuff as like a political football to like argue for whatever they believe in.
And also, when you get rich, powerful people. So here's the thing that happens with rich, powerful people. They can't go anywhere, right? If you're like, say, a Jeff Bezos type or someone who's like an Elon Musk type. And I'm not accusing them of anything. I'm just saying at that caliber of celebrity and that caliber of prominence, you can't go anywhere. If you're Bill Clinton back in the 80s or the 90s, whatever it was, you can't go party. You know, everybody knows who you are. You got to be protected, right? But you want these experiences.
We're back. And then came moments that crossed into personal territory. Martha Stewart, for example, was pushed into revealing private details during a game. Moments were even more serious. Mariah Carey once appeared on the show while rumors were spreading about her being pregnant. She didn't want to confirm anything, but Ellen kept pushing until she basically forced the reveal on air.
Let's toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then we should.
My goodness. I can't believe her.
Mariah Carey is opening up about this uncomfortable 2008 appearance on the Ellen DeGeneres show.
Why would we toast to that? How about to the future?
Yeah, you can
and
really...
for both of our futures, who knows what they hold?
Who knows? All right, go ahead.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers.
The clip of Ellen trying to pressure the singer into drinking champagne as a way to offset pregnancy rumors recently resurfaced on Twitter, following allegations of a toxic workplace environment on the show.
People are saying that that you're pregnant. There's rumors.
Don't discuss that.
All right. Well, you don't have to.
No, that's okay. No, honestly,
you don't have to answer me. Let's just toast with champagne.
Now, in an interview with Vulture, Mariah is addressing that extremely uncomfortable moment with DeGeneres, telling the mag that she's really had a, quote, hard time grappling with the aftermath.
Years later, Mariah shared that she had actually suffered a miscarriage shortly after. That moment, which was played off as a joke, became something much more serious in hindsight. One by one, these clips painted a picture. She had power, and she was not afraid to show it to people. And when the release of the Epstein files became inevitable, she fled the country. Why? Tell us about your thoughts in the comments below.